Hello there and welcome to another one. I trust I find you in good spirits. It's back with another one, a different setup. Hero is here. How's it, bud?
I'm great. How are you, champ?
Before we talk to the white man in the room.
Yeah, let's exclude first. Let's do quota system. Reverse quota system first.
First of all, let the blacks talk. Huh?
Of course, and then
Exactly.
then they'll
Then
follow.
we come to the white
Yeah.
man.
It's-
But more than anything, I'm just glad that it's a white man that's the first one on the show. So for that, I think let's.
We are providing opportunities within the
You
system.
see?
They must thrive.
Exactly. A good man. Huh?
That's all it is.
White man,
Yeah, how's it?
Nice of you to join us.
Yeah,
man.
it's lovely. It's
Oh,
lovely.
yeah.
Thanks for having me. No, I'm good.
Oh, good.
Good.
Oh,
Under circumstances.
Under which one?
Weather, cold, you know.
But it's not cold.
I love to stay in my bed in this room.
They always say white men never get cold.
No.
Wear the shorts, mate. There's
That-
no
that's-
shorts here.
that's
He
if-
here and he's wearing a jacket.
That is if I'm proper boer,
Okay,
you know,
and you're not
from the
proper.
farm. And no, I'm a statiapi.
Okay, whatever that is. Yeah, that one. Anyway, my name
City
is
boy. I'm a city boy.
Cornell's shaking his
I'm
head.
back with another episode. It's Game On, and on the show, when we started initially, it was to speak about sport. Then white men just decided, you know what, gents, I want to be part of this. So white man is here, and we don't know why he's here. Why is he here?
We're all about inclusivity.
Inclusivity. But why is he here?
I think we're gonna chat cricket. We're gonna chat cricket, a lot of cricket.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we going to check cricket?
I do know that he's a bit of a nomad. He's a traveler,
Mm-hmm.
so I think we can open up to other sections of cricket when we chat about his cricketing time in another country
Absolutely.
and another province. So you can give us some insight about how it is to play in Gauteng and how it is to play in the coast and how it is to play on the other coast. So
This is a man with experience.
you know what I'm saying. A traveling man. He should be playing MLC,
MLC,
but now
exactly.
he's here with us.
Exactly.
Where's your dual passport, chief?
But come on.
No.
MIA, I guess. MIA.
Come on.
Anyway, thank you so much. If you're joining us for the first time, we speak cricket, we speak mental health, and everything in between. Yes, maybe, probably. I'm not promising, but there may be swearing here and there, but I promise they won't. And
We'll be polite.
I said, my name is Tatenda. Here is there in the background. Pumza is here. Sharon is here. Shout out to Sharon. If you don't know Sharon, well, forget about it. Noel is here. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause. I'm serious now. Let me put on my game face. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands up for the skipper, the friend, the amazing brother. What else are you? You're not a father, so I can't say the father.
He's called Ospin 2 in Lenasia.
Oh, screen too. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Noel James, the first one on this show. Amazing. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. What was your first impression of this podcast when you saw it on Instagram? And I'm not going to say the exact words that you said. But what was your first impression?
It was. I think it's a good thing that you're giving people a platform to speak about various things. Like I've been following your podcast, the Man Podcast, with various other guests that you had about mental issues. Justin from the club was also on about the alcoholism and all of that. So I think it's really a great platform that you're creating for sportsmen, people alike, to come and share their story. And like I said to you, there might be something of my story that might resonate with people. And you said, well, of course.
Yeah.
And I think that is part of why I want to do this, is to share my story with people that youngsters now going through it, that might be going through exactly the same things that I went through, that can just, that I can teach them something now while they're still young enough,
No wonder you're the skipper. Look at him speak like he's got his head level and he knows the story.
In charge of a troublesome team.
In
A
charge.
team that used to give me sleepless nights. Rambuk Praise A. I played Praise A for a couple of seasons. I still have PTSD. Even now, I wake up in the middle of the night. I go, no. No, we're chasing 300. No. So we appreciate what he's put in. The team is settled. I think he's been also up and down as a yo-yo playing Prem and Prayers, and we've had lots of fights and lots of grumpy discussions after and during selections, and maybe a couple of days later when people pull out. But a proper
and
leader.
3 days before a game.
Yeah. A couple of hours before the game, Friday night, I'm having a beer.
That's standard.
I'm out and about. I look at my phone and I see Noel James like, oh, this can't be good. It can't be good. It cannot be
But
good.
you know, my first impression of Noah was this young man is arrogant. That was first one, right? Second one, he's soft, right? Third one, am I going to have a relationship with this boy? But then it's amazing how the first time that we then spoke, I was like, geez, he's a chilled guy. Amazing. Then obviously I played under him. And from there, you know, when someone just keeps on coming back to you, what do we do? How do we do? And it just shows me that as a leader, it doesn't mean that you've got all the answers.
100%.
And a lot of times you think just because one is captain, then it means that they're not good or they're not better than the other person. But then at the end of the day, it's about raising the team standard and raising what we're trying to do as a club or as a team.
Yes.
And that's when I realized, like, jeepers, he's such a good guy.
And when he joined the club, he was bowling in sunglasses.
Exactly.
He's
The
bowling in shades.
white boy that just came with sun cream all over.
And then he's got sunglasses. I'm like, how boy? Nathan Lyon in South Africa.
In South
Yeah, bro.
Africa. Yeah, come on, yeah. Anyway, let's get in. You know about the Men Podcast. I can't introduce it to you. And I'm thankful that you've been following. I'm thankful that you are seeing the relevance of it. Because when we started it, it was a time when men were committing suicide. And there was a lot of mental issues, but men were not willing to open up and speak about them. So a few episodes into it, it's only women that were consuming that content.
Yeah.
And you're like, how do you create a platform for men to speak, yet women are the ones that are taking it?
Yes.
That's when, okay, fine, you go back to the drawing board and start bringing women on. Because I still believe that mental health has got no boundaries.
Yeah.
Mental health has got no white or black, male or female.
Yeah.
Everyone is going through it. And one way or the other, we need to find or curb or find that sweet spot where everyone can be able to speak about it and not feel like you have to address the big elephant in the room.
Yeah, and I think with that is also, I don't know, I think with men, we sort of struggle to speak about our feelings openly a lot of the time. So a lot of the time we just brush it under the rug and we're like, no, we move on. We move on. We need to be strong for our partners and things like that. Yeah. And I think that is why I am actually so impressed with the platform that you've given the men to actually be able to speak and tell their story the way it is, the way they experienced it. Yeah. And a lot of the times it will resonate with someone and be like, well, I'm not the only one going through what I'm thinking I'm going through right now. Yeah. And I think that is a really great thing that you've been doing. So
you're never alone. That's one thing. And if someone is watching this and thinking, yes, I'm going through depression, yes, I'm going through a slump, especially sports people, how do you survive when you're going through a string of ducks? In that one day when it comes off the middle, you get a 4, then the umpire gives you a dodgy decision.
Yeah.
Come on, really? That's all mental issues, you understand? But before we get into the deep stuff, this is chilled environment. We are having cold. Anyway, we've got icebreaker questions here, and if they are bad, it's not on me. I did not prepare this.
Harry,
it sounds like a Rambo Cricket Club player shifting the blame before they even hit the ball. Really shifting the blame. The wicket looks tacky, Skip. The wicket looks tacky, Skip. I don't think I'll be able to play my national game.
The umpire looks dodgy.
Yeah, umpire looks dodgy. Looks like he didn't sleep last night. I'm not quite sure he's seeing what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Anyway, so the first icebreaker questions that we're gonna have is never, ever, ever. So we're gonna have questions at the start, a game at the start, and a game to finish.
That's
off.
tough.
Because whatever that we're gonna talk about, and if you're gonna make us cry, we need to end up laughing, man.
All right.
Tough questions for the white man. Tough questions for the white man.
White man, are you ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyway,
he might end up being red by the end of this day. He might be red. We don't know.
Okay. Never, ever, ever drunk dialed by ex.
Never.
Yes, but were they that bad? Yes. Oh, they were. Wow. Okay.
Not even after fines.
Nothing. Nope.
Not even after going to Centurion and back and forth.
No, then the first thing and the last thing I don't want to think about is my pillow in my bed. So that's where I go.
Yeah, but Centurion was.
That was a rough one. It was to put it short. It was a long, rough weekend from Friday to Sunday night.
For you guys, it was worse.
It was.
Anyway, never ever broken a bone.
I have.
Yeah, which one?
Toe.
What were you doing? Who
I
breaks
got
a toe?
bowled on my foot.
You okay? Was
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, it was.
Don't miss straight ones.
In
please.
the words of Coach Alistair, use your bat.
Bet.
Well, I sandwiched it into my toe, so
So you did use a
yeah,
bet.
to an extent.
No, he didn't, because he hit himself.
So clearly you did.
Self-mutilation. Self-mutilation. There's a case somewhere in psychology for this thing.
Exactly, yeah. Stop it, man. Number 3. So we're going to have 5 questions. Never have I ever been on a blind date. White people do those things.
I haven't.
I've
no.
never had. Is there a black person that does it?
It's arranged marriages by us. When the skin color goes dark, it's arranged. It's not blind, it's arranged.
You are married.
Yeah, once you see her, it's game over.
Game over.
Yeah.
Never have I ever kissed more than one person in 24 hours. I think Noel is a good guy. I don't think so. Have you?
No.
What did you have to think first, but?
As I'm trying to think of the crazy nights I've had.
The last one, never have I ever ghosted somebody.
I have, yeah.
Yes. If Noel ghosted you, please come to me. Come to my inbox. I'll sort him out for you. Anyway, so those were the 5 icebreaker questions. And the reason why we have those is just to warm up the room. But then this is cricket. This is sport. The whole room is already warm.
Yeah.
So before we even get into anything, the room is already warm. Who is Noel? And the reason why I ask that is every time we say we're bringing someone onto the show, the first question anyone would ask is, who's that? And in as much as I want to run away from that question, I have to ask, who is Noel? I know you, but they don't know you.
So, I think I'm a pretty chilled guy. Kind-hearted, small heart. But
Big heart, man.
yeah.
Big small heart.
Big small.
Yeah, softy.
Oxymoron. Big small heart.
Softy, I put up a front, but yeah, softy. And then yeah, I like to call myself a bowling all rounder. The club begs to differ. So I am a off spin bowler. Past season I captained the Pres A side at Randburg, and I was vice captain of the Saturday 1 side at Randburg. So yeah.
At what point did you see yourself as a leader?
I won't really see myself as that just yet. It was end of last season, the one before this one. We had a discussion after a game where we were a bit fed up with our captain at the time, and we had a discussion, and we knew that the RPL tournament at Randburg was coming up that winter. And thought to myself, let me put my name in the hat to skipper one of the sides. Because the last time I did it was, I think, grade 9 in school. So I thought, you know what, let me just do it and see what it's about. And I ended up being your skipper at the Renegades, and learned a lot. And then moved on to the season time, and got a message. I didn't even get the message to say, ask me if I'm willing to do the skippering. I got put on the captain's group at Randburg, and I was like, what's this? Okay. So I immediately asked Harry, like, listen, does this mean I'm a captain of the sides? He's like, oh yeah, shit, forgot about that. Are you willing to skipper? And I was like, well, great. Let me do it.
A disclaimer is called Pavlov's theory of positive reinforcement. I'm just going to put it out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it, so I just said, you know what, under the bus, here we go in the fire. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. And then you gave me one of the most difficult teams to skipper at the Berg, but we moved.
No, it's not. SU3 is far harder. It's far harder.
Well, Harry, you know the season we had. So.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I have lots of war stories and lots of scars. But great memories too.
Yeah.
Take me through your journey, because you said something around your story would resonate with somebody. What's that story?
So this will go way back since I started playing cricket. This was under 9. Played mini cricket. I think I had 2 years of mini cricket.
Yeah.
And then I moved into hardball cricket, where we just started in Namibia. So I grew up. I was born in Windhoek in Namibia. Grew up there. Went to school.
The nice one. Just say.
Even
The
draft,
best beer.
even draft is a winner.
Windhoek draft is the best one.
We
you
have a
get.
fan somewhere in here who likes Windhoek draft. I'm just saying.
Draft is the best.
Yeah.
Sharon concurs. Yes.
Absolutely. We nod in approval.
So yeah, I grew up there. Played mini cricket. Went into hardball cricket, and then got to under 11s where we start going for national trials to play for Namibia and to come on tours to South Africa, or I think that at one stage we even went to Botswana for tours. And then I went every year, go to trials, under 11, under 13, under 15, and then under 17 was my last one that I went to. But I would go to trials and I'd perform really well, take wickets, score some runs, and I always thought after a trial, when my dad asked me like, how did it go? And I told him, no, I think I stand a good chance, you know. And then teams get released and I don't find myself anywhere near the 2 top teams.
Yeah.
And that is a hard thing to take, because especially if I compare myself and my performances at the trials to some of my mates, there's got to be a reason why I could be there ahead of them, you know. And it was a tough pill to swallow. Every year, said to my dad, I don't know, and my dad just kept on encouraging me, saying, "No, give it another shot. You never know, maybe this might be your break." And I went. Last one, like I said, was under 17, where same thing happened, where just don't make the team. And the reasons behind it was always I'm too small. So it was basically until grade 11 where I got a bit of height and a bit of body. Not much of a body, but...
we can confirm on the show. We can confirm on the show.
Nonetheless.
But so I was always very, very small. And then the reason was always just like, no, you're too small. There's fast bowlers here that... and bigger boundaries and all of those things. And I thought to myself, but what does that make a difference, you know? Dynamite comes in small packages, so you never know. And that was really tough for me. And under 17, after that trial, when that didn't go, I said to my dad, I'm done. I'm not going to go for a national trial again. And then I went into my last 2 years, senior years at high school. So played first team cricket at high school and played hockey to keep myself busy. And I did that, performed really well in the hockey, was captain of second team at hockey.
So you say this captain thing was coming from a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yet I asked him, when did you realize
So
that? You're so modest about it.
So I'm just saying, I know how to choose. I'm just saying, disclaimer, I know how to choose.
Well done, Captain.
Yeah, thank you.
He's calling himself.
Yeah.
So then after that, finished my matric in end of 2017. Then we relocated from Windhoek. We relocated to Port Elizabeth in the Eastern Cape, and goal was gonna start my studies, play cricket there, and just push my cricket, because that's always been my goal, is to push my cricket as far as it can go, and then I have my studies as my fallback plan for when things don't work out. And I ended up playing for Port Elizabeth Cricket Club. They're based at St George's Park in Port Elizabeth, so that was really cool. Training at St George's Park on the B field. Then some days the Proteas will be on the field in the nets. With the Mzansi Super League, they were there. The Warriors, all of those players, they on the field there. So you walk past them, and greet them, have a chat, and they also have an eye on you. They keep watching you and that. And that I thought was, this is really cool. And then played there for I think 2 years. And then I got a job offer up here and made the move here and started at Randburg. And that's where I've been.
So years know you land in Port Elizabeth. What's going through your mind? Because obviously there's a change of environment.
Yep.
And there is always going to be that sort of gap between how people, the cultures and whatnot. Because you spent 16 years of your life, 17 years of your life in Namibia to then move to South Africa, move to Port Elizabeth. Did you struggle with the transition between, obviously the cricket in Windhoek and the cricket in PE is somewhat different in a way?
It's a lot different, actually. So in Namibia, it was very rarely that we used to play on actual turf pitches. Majority of our games, school games, and that was on they roll a mat out over on top of the cricket pitch. You'd play on that.
We know them.
Or we'd play
flexi mat,
and the flexi mats.
The flexi mats are those the ones that intertwine. Like
Yes.
Ducking half volleys, mate. Ducking
and then
half volleys.
volley comes up to you.
There's a bumper, you duck it, and it comes hits you on the shin. And also, I think under 11, under 13, and under 15, we used to play on cement, concrete turf. So like the nets that we've got at Randburg, we used to have that. And that was really, really difficult. So you have guys running in, bowling short, and you're just ducking and trying to get out the way. Yeah. Nothing in your half.
KFC chicken.
Yeah, because anything that's in the batsman's half, the bowlers know it's going far.
Yeah,
so
that's the only one you get.
So when you get it, you make the most of it. Yeah. So then moving to Port Elizabeth, coastal town, wickets are low and slow. Yeah. Bit of swing, nipping around. That was tough. I must say, I think
the boys taking time to get to the bad time.
I don't think I ever really adjusted to playing cricket up down there. It was I had a lot of sessions with a sidearm, bowling machine, all of that, trying to get myself accustomed to that all. I know, like, growing up in Namibia, you sort of grow up on the back foot, so you play everything under your eyes and that. Then you move there, and I remember I had, like, on Boxing Day, my one mate phoned me. He says, "No, let's go for a net." And I spent over an hour batting with one hand, just trying to hit the ball on the front foot, getting my head over the ball, and that my forearm, I couldn't feel it for the next 3 days. It was, and I tried getting into that, and I don't think I ever really acclimatized to that type of wicket. Then I moved up, and it's a lot like in Namibia. It's fast and it's true, and I can play it. And yeah.
Take me through the mental aspects between Namibia, PE, Joburg. Because the reason why, here is coming.
Yeah, just to add, because I just want to go back. I think his challenges in Namibia are very similar to what's happening in the school systems and in the provincial systems here.
Yeah.
If they don't know you, they don't pick you.
Yeah.
If you're not from a certain school,
I think the school as well.
Yeah, if you're from a certain school, they don't pick you.
Part, yeah.
I've been through trials from 13 till under 19.
Yeah.
You would bowl oaks in the nets. You would bowl them clean every day, and then.
But you're not from the right school.
And for us, it was round 1, round 2, round 3. How all of a sudden round 1, how you don't get a letter to come back. Back then, actually, it was still fax machine. So you had to wait for the fax to come through. So okay, cool, right? We're selecting Lediga to come through to round 2. But you wouldn't. But you knew full well that you cleaned up everybody.
I did my best.
You did your best, and then it. Hence, we said in the first part, it's about elitist. Hence, we need to break that down. Because someone from Elokshin, someone from Soweto, Tembisa, Ivory Park, KwaMashu can do what's required. Maybe not consistently because they don't have the right diet, the right training, but the raw talent is there. Yeah. And how do we then break away the favoritism? Yes, fine. KS produces Graham Smith, Neil McKenzie, Quentin de Kock.
But the thing is, I know I think every cricketer has been through that kind of favoritism, whatever. But then at the same time, I've done trials for Gauteng boys, and I promise you, when you're sitting there with your clipboard, the moment you see Saint Stadiums, or let me not mention the name, the moment you see a certain school or certain schools, all of a sudden, all the selectors, they're already looking at those boys.
Yeah. And
many times, the boys are not as great. They're good, yes.
They're mediocre. They're average. They're average. They're okay, yes.
But because they're coming from a good school, we always think that we can give them opportunity because they're already in the streamline.
Yeah.
So could it be? Well, that was what Harry was saying.
We need to break that mindset because it's about you've been given a chance. This is your platform. Because remember, you're playing in Guamash or whatever. This is your only platform to shine.
Yeah.
And then now already you are at minus 20% because somebody's school name is higher than where you come from.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, your skill and talent level and your ability is better than what that person is.
Confidence as well, because I've seen it a lot of times where the moment I still remember my first trials, maybe under 19, and I was decent, but us getting onto the bus to say we're going to meet at the hotel, from the hotel we're going to fly to Harare, from there you get to the school where you're supposed to do the trials, and I still remember there was a boy that had GM Purist. It was too quality, but like, yes, these white boys have got good quality stuff. It's, there's something about someone that is wearing new stuff, new cricket stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
They've
full
got
kit
the
top to bottom.
confidence.
Yeah,
They
full
top-
kit top to bottom.
The boy had, and Purist was maroon, and the bat was too flat. The
Yeah.
ground
Yeah.
was too
I
flat,
remember, yeah.
And he looked proper, but and you get there, and all of a sudden you have to, you deserve to be there, but because of the confidence, you're coming from from a disadvantaged background, you look at them as they are the ones that.
Yeah.
But for a white man, we don't think.
No,
that
it's like
you went through that.
it's to an extent, yes. There were parents whose pockets were a bit deeper
Yeah.
than my parents.
Yeah.
And my dad is old school, army days, all of that, where you need to work hard.
Work
If
hard,
He's a
if
blue
you
collar-
do, if
blue
you
collar
want to
citizen,
if
yeah.
you want to have that spot in the team,
You gotta work for it.
you need to work your ass off to get to that point.
yeah.
It's not just gonna come for free, and he's definitely not gonna put money on the table just to get me
Just
that
to get
spot.
you through, yeah,
Um, And that was also where I did my hard work, and like I said, I felt that I was decent enough to get a spot. But then, yeah, there were unfortunate times where
You don't have the clipboard in your hand, my friend.
yeah.
that and a bit of money might get
Of
slipped
course,
in.
there's someone who's sponsoring the kids,
Yeah,
sponsoring
petrol
the
money
team
to come
class.
down, all of that.
Imagine if your father says, I'm going to sponsor all the warm-up kids for the team when they make it. So if you're going to Gauteng under 13 is going to say, I'm going to sponsor the kids for the under 13s, obviously the child is automatically in.
Yeah.
Way before trials even
But
start.
that's
And
what I want to break, because
unfortunately,
sponsor because you love the game.
Yeah. But then for the most part, they're
Excuse me.
sponsoring because they're trying to get their
And
children.
and that's fair, that's human nature.
Yeah.
But we need to break it because there's too many people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
How do we then select the best of the best?
But it's also a thing of in those times where you have those parents that pay for everything, and that a lot of the times after school those kids stop playing
don't care,
cricket.
Because they
But
have
then
other-
you
they have
get
other
then you
avenues
get
of
one
revenue,
boy
yeah.
Yeah.
that might come from a township or somewhere,
Yeah.
or from a bit of a disadvantage, and then they end up losing their love for the game and stop playing cricket because of what they faced.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's a lot of the times, I've also seen it a lot where if parents pay their child's way forward, they don't know how to work hard
But
for that spot
that's
and
the
how
thing
to
with rich
appreciate
kids.
it.
Rich kids don't appreciate the work.
Yes.
You don't have to go and throw balls. You don't have to go and catch balls. You don't have to go and run.
Yeah, it's
Because
just
dad is gonna pay you.
Yeah.
Obviously, so I'm gonna be in the first team anyway. So
I'm fine,
It's all
yeah.
good. Yes. So there is no actual love for the game. It's only one or two that I know that are coming from rich families, and they still went ahead and did well for themselves.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. I wanted to ask, where is your mental health? You're a youngster. You've been rejected for the longest of time in Namibia. You move to PE, the pitches are different. Now all of a sudden it's not coming onto the bat at all. So obviously it's gonna make you feel like you're not good enough. Or two, I'm not cut out for this. Or three, maybe there's a reason why I was being rejected because I'm not good enough.
yeah.
Did you ever go through such a, is it a spirit, or did you ever go through such, what's the word there?
Period.
Period, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think I'd be lying if I say no. And I think to an extent, every sportsman, woman, whatever, goes through a mental slump or whatever the case may be.
Men's slump, yeah.
Um, and it is a, like we said earlier, with as sportsmen, we do have our, like, we suffer mentally about some some things, maybe getting a duck 3 weeks in a row, and how are you going to get out of that, and how are you going to get...
And now Hero is calling and telling
Yeah,
you that you've been dropped.
And how are you going to get past the umpire, number one? How are you going to get by a run?
Yeah.
So there is definitely that where you always second guess yourself and feel, am I really good enough to play here? But if I think back on all the opportunities that I've gotten or had since I've made that move, I think that to an extent, yes, I am good enough. And that's where I sort of, I went easy on myself to say, there's got to be a reason why you're still getting chances. Yeah. And in Port Elizabeth, I played Premier League cricket, played back there they call it Premier Reserve. So that's like our President's League. Played there. And I was instrumental in various parts of the team's success. So that's where I sort of put it aside to say, there's obviously got to be a reason.
I can do this.
And I can do this. And then when I made the move here, I moved here without my parents, without my dad. So my dad is always next to the cricket field, wherever he can be. And he used to sort of always do my introductions with players and coaches and things like that. So when I moved here, I still remember I emailed the club, and I got a reply, I think, a week after the email. But in the meantime, I've driven to Randburg and I've driven to Old Parks, because those are the two clubs closest to me. And I went and had a look at the facilities and thought to myself, Randburg is actually really decent and it's a lot closer to home. And then got the call from the then secretary, Mr. Malchas. And
Neta.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, when you say Mr. Malchus, you'd think that is an actual human being, but sorry, Nathan, no, it's not what I mean.
So, yeah.
Nathan the savant, Nathan.
So then, I had to go up, and I remember the first thing was seeing Arabile, Gumere, there, and I'm thinking to myself, like 3 weeks ago, before I moved here, I saw him on SABC. Now he's there. Now I'm interacting with this guy, and I'm like, yo, this is hectic.
Yeah, no,
And
we used Aras a lot, Chef. Yeah. Aras, we owe you some rights and money, but it's fine. You'll collect when you come back.
So I had to do that all by myself, and that's where I was like, wow. And I had to talk, and I had to get myself into a spot where I can not just talk the talk, but I can also walk the walk.
Yeah. It's amazing though. You're saying you then moved this side and you're alone. Is this the first time that you are alone and you have to make your way? Because clearly Dad has been doing everything for you, and to a certain degree that's scary, because now you're walking into the unknown. First of all, you're far from home, far from the parents, because at the end of the day, you moving from Namibia to PE didn't matter much because the family was close to you.
Yes.
PE to Joburg, that's when it mattered the most. How did you deal with yourself? You are meeting in a new environment, new people. You don't even know what to expect. Yet here you are. You're supposed to go there and say, "Hello, my name is Noel. I'm a cricketer."
Yeah.
Surely you're scared, but
it is. It's scary because I was also very shy.
Yeah.
It's only now recently, I think, since having to captain the side, where I sort of came out of my shell.
Yeah.
But I was very shy, and now I'm thinking to myself, look, I need to go and do this for myself. Like, I got to the parking lot, and I thought to myself, flip, like, am I really doing this? Like, is there no one else I can try? Yes.
Yeah. And mind you, he has a budding bromance with Jason van der Meulen, a proper bromance. It's budding. It's out there.
But it reminds me of the first time as well, because I get to Joburg. I was staying in Pretoria at the time, so when I came from Botswana, I went to Mpumalanga. From Mpumalanga, I'm thinking I want to be in Joburg, because I think if I'm going to play cricket, I have to be closer to Joburg, but I knew nobody. So fine, came to Gauteng, but I was staying in Pretoria. Pretoria's cricket is crap, for lack of a better word.
Aibo.
It's crap. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, nah.
Sorry, Titans.
He obviously didn't
Sorry,
play
Titans.
He
Cricket.
probably played too many games against Tucks.
Yeah, Tux 1 and Tux 2. They're chasing 300 every day.
300 every day.
Leather.
But you know, I never enjoyed my time in Pretoria. It's for some odd reason. I've been in cricket teams, but Pretoria just never clicked. So fine, I then started dating my wife, my ex-girlfriend, now my wife. Yeah. Did you get that?
We caught it. And she's smiling wherever she is. We caught it. We caught it.
So fine. We start dating and she stays in Joburg. So I'm thinking, okay, good shot. At least I know somebody in Joburg. So fine, I come to Joburg. I then moved to Joburg. So I made the move to come to Joburg. And things were screwed up. So I remember I just went through a laptop and I'm just looking for cricket. You understand? Then Randburg Cricket Club pops up. And by then, I think it's around about July. It's June, July. It's in winter. I get a phone number. I email I send a message to the number. I try to call it, doesn't go through. Then they say, no, my name is Noel Livingston. Right? You were still the head coach at the time.
Yeah.
Neil Livingston, hello bud. Okay, my name is Tatenda. I played cricket. Okay, fine. I'll get back to you when we start preseason. So I'm like,
What's
that's
that?
like that. Nah, that's too easy. Nah. Anyway, so I chill. I think 1st of September or 1st of August.
Yeah, I was about to say that's late. Yeah, August. Can't be
End of
September.
August. Because I still
September
remember
we're cooking. It's hey.
August, yeah. So he calls me back. No, are you still keen? We've got practice on a Sunday, so I tell the wife, girlfriend by the time, hey, girlfriend, they called back, so I'm going. So fine, I go through. When I get there, it was like, jeepers, the amount of big ox here. Sure. Okay, fine, I get there, we start the warm-up and everything, sorted. I'm still, have you ever got to a spot and you just immediately feel at home? Even though you know nobody.
Yeah.
Everyone, your Peter Jordans was still there, BJ was still there, and his brother Darren. It was a whole crew. Daryl Eki was
The
still,
man who misses a straight one. PJ!
So fine, I got through the practice. Then the very next week, I get drafted into the Prem and Prez tour side to Rustenburg.
All right.
Oh, great, okay. We're going to Rustenburg. We get to Rustenburg, and jeepers, this guy's a drinker.
Welcome to Randburg.
It's a drinking club. With
Welcome
a
to
cricket
RCC.
Yeah.
I remember we left, I don't even know where we were in Rustenburg, but we left at 6 a.m. Neil wanted us at practice at 6:30, at warm up at 6:30. Everyone was drunk. And I'm thinking, how do these people play cricket when they're drinking like
Easy.
that? Did you go
Easy.
through the same thing when you met the guys? But I think when you joined Randburg, everyone was sort of like, they love their cricket more than their beers, isn't it?
So when I joined, it was like you said, you sort of feel at home,
Yeah.
at ease. Like I walked up to Nathan, and I introduced myself to him, and he said, "Okay, introduce yourself to the then head coach, Alistair." And I introduced
So
myself.
you just joined, but
Yeah, I think I've been there for
Like
going
4
on 4 years. now,
yeah.
And introduced myself, and it was okay, cool, spike up and fall in.
Do your thing, yeah.
And I fell in, introduced myself to the guys, and it was like an embrace.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
from there, I haven't
I
looked
think
back.
that's the one thing about Randburg. They know how to embrace
Yes.
new guys. Literally, anyone can just walk in there and think, hello, there's a boy that was there. He joined last season, I think Dylan. Is it Dylan or Darren? Dylan.
Didn't from Hearties.
From artists.
The
Yeah.
muscles from
The
Heart to be a
muscles from
sport.
Heart,
Yeah,
yeah.
fun
So-
down.
Achilles.
Shout out to
Boy comes
Dylan.
through and I'm coaching, and he's like, how's it? I want to know about the cricket. And I'm like, yeah, just hang around. We started at 4:30. And from there, so tell me about yourself. Oh, no, I've been playing cricket. I stay in artists. I'm like, what the hell, bud? You're coming from artists. Did you move this
But he
side?
was really dedicated, because there was
He
one
was,
game
right.
where the game at Randburg got cancelled. So myself and my mate Jason, we were having a net, and I think you were there coaching as well.
Yeah.
And he walked up to us and he asked us, "Isn't there supposed to be a game here today?" We're like, "Yeah, but
But
it got cancelled." So, and then he asked for numbers, and we said, "Okay, cool, contact this guy, this guy."
Yeah.
But then we were like, "No, but where do you stay?" And he's like, "No, in Harties." We were like, "Yes."
Yeah, that's far. And he
That's
still travels.
and to travel like that and still come and say, oh, but you're supposed to be a game. That he even knows that there's a game on. There's got to be some research, and that
I think that's credit where it's due.
Yes.
Randburg has been a tight-knit family, and not everyone can just penetrate into Randburg. It is specifics.
Yeah.
Not that there's so much politics. I think everywhere there is politics, but it brings everyone close together. Yes, we drink, but for the most part, when it comes to cricket,
That's why we're so strong. That's why we're so strong.
But to an extent, is yes, we have our guys that do enjoy their beers a bit too much, right?
Yeah.
But we have a lot of guys in the club that don't drink.
yes.
But it doesn't mean that
those who
we
don't drink doesn't mean,
we're pushing them aside and be like, no, you're not part of this club, you don't belong here.
Yeah.
I think those guys are the ones that would actually feel the most love out of all of us,
Yeah.
because of how we embrace them and accept them and make them part of us.
Yeah.
And we're respectful in the way that we do our things. We don't go and force them to do
Yeah,
things
yeah,
that
yeah.
they
I think
religion,
the
all
mere
of those
fact-
things.
The mere fact that we can have a fine session with a 16-year-old,
Yes.
and it doesn't mean that he has to drink.
And
Coke
he
and
doesn't. He has his
vinegar.
Coke and vinegar.
He keeps complaining about the vinegar being finished.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he has that, or he has some Coke with some Simba chips or
Yeah,
something.
something.
And
yeah.
that's what he has.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us will have our beer. But there's also some guys that don't drink alcohol, but then they'll have
Red Bull or
the
something.
whatever
the
it is,
Mercedes.
0%
Red Bull, yeah, zero.
Heinekens or stuff like that. So, and it doesn't mean that we look at them any different,
Yeah.
or exclude them from anything that we do.
Absolutely. I think just to break it down, the thing with fines is that fines is also, I think with a couple of beers, the facade breaks down a bit, and after fines you can chat to somebody about how they performed today, and it's candid and it's straight.
Yeah.
Say, listen, I've got nothing against you, but I think you bowled way too many quicker balls. You bowled way too many change-ups. Next week, let's focus on A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
And because we've had a couple of beers, you take on that advice on board easily. You're like, okay, cool, no, this dude's looking out for my best interests.
Exactly.
And that's the core construct of the fines. Fine, yes, we have a great time and things out of hand, do stupid things, but the main core is that we've then had a chance to chat after the game, and it's in a relaxed environment.
Yeah.
You can pass on whatever knowledge you have because now it's free. The game is done. We've lost or we've won. We were pummeled or whatever. We pummeled them, but now we're in an easy environment. Now we can chat about the game
Yeah.
personally, one-to-one.
Exactly.
And that's the great thing. That's the great thing about
I
fines.
still remember I would send my wife a message to say we just finished and it's 5 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock.
Babe, don't call. Babe, don't call, please.
Please don't phone. Yeah.
Phone's on the table. If it rings, someone else has got to answer.
6 o'clock is like, you can't be this drunk in an hour. Were you drinking and playing?
Little do you know, 2 fingers. 2 fingers is all you need.
2 figures. Two. Anyway, so, okay, fine. No joins, Randburg. What challenges have you faced? So, you're speaking to somebody that is listening to this and thinking, I want to play cricket. And the reason why I'm saying that is there is a lady that came to me not too long ago and says, my husband is so depressed. He doesn't have any golfing buddies. He's got nobody. And I want him to play cricket. And I want him, obviously, he's going to join Randburg because the kids are coming to juniors. What would you say to that person? Because one, you're walking into an unknown environment and you don't know. So many people don't want to open up space for someone else to fit in. Yet that's not the case with Randburg. But there's someone that is listening to this and thinking, I want to find myself another hobby on the side, apart from work and the stresses and whatnot, to try and cool down. What would you say to that person right now?
I think to an extent it's not about that they need to feel that they have to fit in and adjust their whole being to fit into a situation. Just come and be yourself. At the end of the day, that's what makes us all characters that we love, and
100%.
some of us might annoy each other a bit more than others, but it's Harry,
I won't mention any names.
But,
I won't mention any name.
that's just the thing is come and be yourself, and when you do things, do it the way you would do it. Don't try and adjust to the way the club is doing things, because at the end of the day, we all come together and we make all the different individuals that do things in their own ways. That's what comes and makes Randburg, and that's I think what makes Randburg great and makes it a family. But it's not to come and change who you are just to fit in because you're depressed. Now you're trying to be happy in that. Come and be your depressed self, but your true self, and you would see that it would
I think speaking of
grow.
be yourself, you look at someone like Gus. Gus is
Gasso! Shout out to Mr. Eagleton.
I think Gus is one person that you like is not arrogant.
Yeah.
He's just
He's
calm.
so nonchalant. Like
Yes.
I've never met a guy as
Me
as
too,
as bad.
That's
I'm
the
like,
problem.
yeah, he doesn't have any
Gus
issue.
and
He
a
just
Vintuk draft, my friend.
Yes.
That's all.
Yet he's
yeah,
there.
and his
If-
camping chair.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
If he puts up his hand for availability, it's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If he's gonna be a keeper, he's gonna be stopping it at the base. He's not catching it.
Yeah, it gets to a point whereby if you don't see his thumbs up in the group,
Yeah,
you're
well,
like,
worried, like,
something's
where's
wrong.
Gus? They kidnapped
Something's
him?
wrong.
Has he gone to
Yeah,
Saudi
it's like
Arabia? Where's
what we
Gus?
found out eventually, like he hurt his thumb.
Yeah.
And we were like,
Yeah, he doesn't say anything. So we were like, and then when we found out, we were like, okay, Gus
even
is
I was
still
surprised,
Gus is
like,
still
gets
fine.
injured? Gus gets injured?
Injured.
No.
He's an elite sportsman.
Actually, that's a great point because Mr. Eagleton is somebody. It's on the other end of the spectrum. He's an introvert by trade.
Yeah.
You don't hear much from Gus at all. I think when Gus started, Gus used to say 2 or 3 words.
I think in my time at Randburg, he said 3 sentences
Yeah,
to
me
me.
too.
Now
He comes with a fist bump we're in COVID times, and now he'll come with a handshake.
exactly, and
How's it, guys? You good, bro?
Yeah, it's
and
just
we appreciate
thanks,
it. And the
man.
fact that he's still at the club says a little bit of something.
Yeah.
That he's comfortable and he's happy to be here. So, I think with Randburg, it's always been as a community tight knit vibe, but we let you be you, and we figure it out as we go along. I
Yeah.
think the most important thing for me, I think we said in the first episode, is that when I walk on the field on Sunday, nothing else matters. I'm with 11 of my mates and I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
I think I played enough cricket with the both of you. You guys know that I'm going to talk crap for the entire innings.
Hours, yeah.
And I know that it might come back on me tenfold when I go back, but I don't give a damn.
It doesn't.
I don't give a damn because I'm having the time of my life. Cornell still has one of the best chirps in the world, but I cannot talk about it here on this platform.
He's coming.
No, I can't. I actually cannot.
No,
He's gonna honor his own
that
word.
is
No, he
that
can't.
is
He can't.
that is
It's-
that is beyond
it is-
it. Like we can't.
You
share
with
that.
me, hey?
Yeah.
Oh,
That is
Actually,
something we can't
I
share.
fell on the floor. I had to wait for me to get ready, pick myself up, stand again in first lip, and pay attention.
Pay
And
attention.
when the ball started, I fell on the floor again.
Jeepers. Crazy.
Eh, eh.
Anyway, Noji, to a youngster that is watching this, and obviously through the ups and downs and everything that you've been through, what advice would you give? Because I know there's a young man that I know for a fact that has been, young boy, he's gone to every single Northwest trial and still hasn't made it. And to a certain degree, you can see that the parents are starting to not lose faith, but the disappointment is just too much because he comes back from trials and says, you know what, I did everything that we worked on. I was getting wickets, I was hitting the ball straight, I was hitting the ball down the ground, I was calling nicely, I was catching nicely through fielding. I did everything right. Yet the name is not there. What advice would you give to such a youngster? Because at the end of the day, we don't play cricket because we don't have anything else to do. We play cricket because we love it.
Yes.
And the moment the love stops, don't play.
Yeah.
But at some point, because of challenges, the love sort of like just slides away because you are so scared of disappointment, or there's disappointment over and over and over
Yeah.
again, and one can just never get a break. What advice would you be giving to such a kid
I
or
think-
the parent?
I think it's just to keep going. That was the way I did it. Is I just kept on going, and now I can think back and say that don't dwell on all of the negativity and that, because a lot of the times we as people, we dwell on the negative things so much that when something positive happens, we're not in
Time to see it.
in a mental space to actually accept it and to
Absolutely.
say and appreciate that good thing that's happening. And then it goes by in the blink of an eye, and you look back and you say, but nothing good happened.
But it was there.
It was there, but you weren't present in that. So I think it's to keep going and to trust the hard work that you put in. If the boy goes, whoever goes, and puts in the hard work with coaches, extra hours, extra training at school training or the official trainings that they go to, and they've done everything, and they've set boxes for themselves, and they've ticked all those boxes at the end of a practice session or at the end of a season. There's nothing more you can do about that. You've set your goals. You've set yourself challenges. To say, let's say, example, start playing the short ball. By the end of the season, I can play the short ball. Yeah. You've ticked that box, and just to keep going and keep pushing. By the way. Yeah, that's
side note.
You don't have to pull it.
Yeah.
If there's only bonus listening, keep your eyes closed.
Yeah,
Duck, or take it on the body. Wasting your time, bowlful.
Yeah. So it's just to keep going, because that's what I did, is to keep going, and where I started giving myself challenges and giving myself small to-dos for a practice session for a game. I go into a practice session saying, okay, I want to work on being more consistent in bowling my stock delivery outside off, and I would literally just work on that the whole practice. And a lot of the times I might leave that practice session and think I still haven't completed that, so I won't check that box off. Next session I would go back and I'll do it again, and I'll do it again until I'm satisfied that this is good enough. This can bring me a result. This can get me a wicket. This can get me some runs. And then I tick it off. Then I move on to my next one. And in doing that is, don't do it half-heartedly. Give it your all. And just, yeah. No, leave no stone unturned at the end of the day. Have no regrets. If you get to the point whereby you feel cricket is not for me, you must be able to say, I've turned over every stone, went down every possible alley to try and see where can I improve. And if it's like that, then you at least you can set your mind at ease to say, I've given it my best shot and it just isn't for me.
I think just to add there, I think sometimes in life we forget that life doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah.
Just because you hit 10,000 balls and you've taken 3,000 doesn't mean you're going to play pro tier. Doesn't mean you're going to play franchise cricket. Doesn't mean you're going to, because there are other people and there are other minds. Hence we spoke about earlier. Sometimes there are gatekeepers. Sometimes it's elitists. Sometimes it's the school that you went to. It's not about what you did. But as long as you've done what is required at the time, you'd be at peace with that and say, okay, cool. I might play some amateur cricket and I'll have fun in the sun. But yes, I wanted to be a professional cricketer. I think we spoke about it in episode 1, is it, telling a black parent that you want to play cricket full time is, you're crazy. Go to school. Go to school. Yeah. I'm not sweating here for you to play cricket.
And catch a ball.
Exactly.
And chase that little red
and have a beer afterwards.
What do you want to know? The amount of arguments I had with my father about kit and what I need and what I don't need and how expensive it is, because that is the mindset previously. So sometimes, even if you do everything that's required, you still might not make it. But as long as you're at peace that you've done what you can, then there's another avenue. Yeah. This is not the end of the road. 100%.
And also the fact that you've challenged yourself and gone through those obstacles. Yes, I've done everything right. I've done the work. I've put in the work, and still I didn't make it. You're not in charge, or you're not in control of who picks you. You're in control of what you do.
And those are life lessons.
Yeah.
Whether you go
control
to
the controllables.
Yeah, whether you're in corporate, whether you're in you're in the public sector, whether you are running a business, that is life. Just because you've done everything doesn't mean that you're an automatic qualification to be where you need to be.
Yeah.
Exactly. What can we expect from you as a player in the coming season?
Oh, well,
Don't look at me.
I'm hoping that I can have a better season than what I had last year. That was one of my best seasons to date. But I'm not done yet. I want to improve and I want to be better than that. I want to move into different avenues, score some runs as well. That's been avoiding me for quite some time.
Randburg needs runs. Please score runs. Randburg always needs runs.
So I definitely want to challenge myself even more as a player, put myself out there, and just keep working. Well, that is the same. Challenge myself to grow. This past season that I was captain of the one side and vice captain of the other side, I learned so much. as a captain, number one, as a player, and as a person to an extent as well. So that is something that it was new to me because it was the first time after a long time that I've done it. So it was exciting, and I don't think that I've learned all my lessons just yet. And I would love to go into it again with an open mind to say, I'm here again, to give it my all and to learn the lessons, to keep going forward.
Yeah. And when it comes to empowering your troops, how important is it to have everyone manage their own spaces? Because effectively speaking, you can't have 11 eyes. So, in as much as you're going to tell that guy that went to cow corner and you told him, go stand by that log, or go stand by that...
And don't move!
Don't move. Okay, you can move. You can walk in and walk back.
Yeah.
Walk five back. How, as a captain, can you have everyone understand that they can manage their own space? Because cricket is only an 11-man sport, of which one is bowling, the other one is keeping. So effectively, we've got 9 spots to cover the whole entire field. If it's 60 meters, 70 meters, the 100 meters, the whatever the case may be. How important is it to have a captain that is going to empower people in a way that they can manage their own space, even though you're standing at mid-on, you can't see what's happening to the guy at square leg, and still, yes, our main focus is to get that batsman out. So you can't be, you're walking in towards to get the catch there, yet there's a guy that's drifting there.
Yeah.
That's because probably they can't manage their own space. As a captain, what would you do differently to make sure that your troops understand that we have one common goal here?
Yeah.
And the common goal is to make sure that we get that guy out.
So when I started out last season, my first 2 games, I went into it with the mindset that I need to be there for all the other 10 guys on the field, and I need to be able to play their game for them. So before the game, I would do the preparations for them. I'd come up with, okay, cool, they're gonna bowl in this order. This is the field that I'm thinking of having. But then you give the guy the ball and you say to him, okay, cool, this is the field, bowl. But he has no clue how to bowl to that field because it's not actually going according to his strengths. And I had some time away, and I read a thing about trying to give them some put emphasis on their game and give them some responsibility. So I came back with that in mind, saying, I'm going to have a chat with them, say, this is what I sort of see, my vision for this weekend, and what are you coming to bring to the table? So I had discussions with there's two youngsters at the club that I was really impressed with this past season, because I had those discussions with them and I said to them, this is sort of what I see you doing, the role you're going to play, but in order to enforce that, I need to know, are you comfortable with it? So I need you to go and think about your own game and come up with your strength, your plan A, and come up with a plan B. And it made my work as a captain a lot easier as well, because now it's not me having to think about it for him and having to play the game for him. He's coming to me with his homework. The one boy brought me a sheet, and at the top he had the circle of the field, even drew the pitch and everything, and then he had the little circles of all the fielders, and he said that's plan A. And he did the same for plan B. So I asked him, okay, cool, what's plan A? So he says, no, it's to push the ball across the right-hander, right? So hitting it short of a length, short of a length, going across the right-hander, and this is where he thinks he's going to get his wickets. So I said to him, all right, what's your plan B? So he said to me, no, plan B might be to come around the wicket, target the stumps, then have fielders out on the leg side because of the ball angling in. And then it made it a lot easier when I had discussions with him at training to say, okay, cool, work on that. And then if I see he's deviating from that plan, it's easy for me to go and pinpoint, say, listen, remember what we're working towards. And that made it so easy, actually, towards the end, with players like that. And with that, I put a lot of emphasis on it, where I'm giving the guys the responsibility to go and think about their own game. And in many instances, those are the type of guys that I wanted in the team. Obviously, selections, Harry, you would know, didn't always go according to plan.
course.
And you didn't always get your full strength side that
Never.
you would have liked. But at least then you have a few of the guys that have some knowledge about their own game. And I think if you have knowledge of your own game, you're not gonna find yourself drifting on a field. And if with that it's also saying, okay, cool, this is your plan. This is how we're going to implement it into this match scenario, this game plan. And then if things don't go according to plan, it's easy to then speak to that person because he's open-minded to say, okay, I have not been my best, so let's give it another shot maybe later on. And in that sense, I didn't have to really manage that much, because I've had discussions with everyone after games, before games, at training sessions, that this is what the goal is for the weekend, this is how we want to play it, and this is what we need to do as individuals to do that. And I put a lot of emphasis on managing your own space, being awake. I always call it the 2 meter radius around you. Manage that.
Can't count 2 meters, but
And
Can't count.
there are instances that you have guys that struggle with that.
So you must watch them.
But that is where you sort of assign another player. You see another guy that's drifting a bit, you assign that, you say, okay,
The
cool,
value
you
of
two,
having other
you two
senior
try and
players
keep
in your
each other
team,
awake a bit. And then it actually goes fairly smoothly. Then you don't have any...
I think also a lot of captains struggle because you can't be playing another 11 men's game and your own.
No.
That's impossible. It's just like trying to be there for everyone else, but who's going to be there for you?
100%.
So it makes captaincy daunting because you are thinking for someone else, because you also need to think of your own game.
And I think to an extent, a lot of the times, if going back to the beginning, when I was doing that and playing the game for all the other teammates, I neglected my own game.
Obviously,
right? And I think that's where, if things go badly, the first people they look to is captain and the coach, right? And that is where, after having that break, when I came back, I said, I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to go, this is the brand of cricket I want to play, so I'm going to make sure that I'm the first one to play that brand. And then having discussions with the guys and trying to read their language, body language, and their demeanor towards the plan going forward, then I can see this guy is not really interested in playing competitive cricket or the level of cricket that I'm wanting to play.
You adjust accordingly.
And I adjust accordingly. And then at selections, I would make a point of that to say, listen, isn't there someone else that we can potentially use that might not be as experienced as such? We've had it a few games, but the mental side of it, they're willing to want to learn and they want to play higher, but they are a bit inexperienced. So that is where I'd rather have that guy in the team that wants to be there and wants to be better than having a guy in the team just to come and play social cricket and have a beer afterwards, because then you can much rather go and play a lot.
It is a challenge because obviously everyone's paying to play the game. So obviously if I've paid my dues, then I want to also be given first preference. I think just to round that off and close it, I think with any captains, any young captains, the first thing is to always to listen. Yes, you make the final decision, but you must listen. Listen, then take the choice. So I think I played with both of you guys, and I think I might have skipped both of you guys. My first question to anybody is, what field are you looking at? Not even give me your field. Or before I said you're on next, okay, think about your field, come back to me. Then we're going to go with your plan A. If your plan A is nonsense, then I will adjust it accordingly. But I will initially give you the right to do what you want to do because you know yourself best. I don't know you. I may have seen you in the nets, I may have seen you in practice, I may have heard about you. But sometimes it's club cricket, sometimes you play with someone for the first time on the Sunday. And I say, okay, no, tell me your field. Okay, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, I want 3 out. Okay, and cool. But now if you want the leg side fields, you're bowling outside or off, I'm going to say, but chief.
But then there comes a time where a guy's going to tell you that, okay, I need a fine leg deep square in the long.
Hey, I once captained somebody who asked me.
Where are you going to bowl it?
I asked somebody who was bowling military medium. They wanted a third man and a fine leg and a deep square. I was like, hey, bro, how does this work? Eventually, after drinks, we changed the field and he took a stick. But sometimes you let the bowler or the batsman do what they need to do first,
I
then
think
correct
any
after.
player that feels like they are part, or they are taking accountability. If the captain comes to you and they tell you, what do you want to do? You then say, okay, this is what I had in mind. Then the captain can probably say, he's been doing 1, 2, and 3. So do you really think that is going to work? So it becomes a discussion between a player and the captain. And in that, like Gary just said, in as much as you make the final say, you also need the player to be involved in that.
Yes. 100%.
In that
You need to know that you're backing his decision. So
Yeah.
sometimes, even though I think your plan is rubbish, I will walk with your plan so that you can see. Sometimes you have to lose the game in order to show them, listen.
But I don't think as a captain I would let them fall, because at the end of the day you need to understand that different players, it's just like the boy that can't stand at cow corner.
Yeah.
If he's gonna come in and is bowling leg spin and tells you that no, I want to go in with a short fine, you're thinking, why? If you're turning the ball quite as much, you understand? So a lot of times it could be that the player doesn't understand their own game, but you're still allowing them with the little
100%.
that they know that they are involved. They're not stupid, and they belong into the side, because we don't want a situation whereby the player feels like they're stupid and the captain knows it all. Because now they're not going to bring in.
Because you're also going to get it wrong one day.
You are as a captain as well. You are going to get
Exactly.
it wrong.
No, so like I don't think it's when the boy is doing. He's not doing what he said he's supposed to be doing, right? It's not as if we make him fall and we just let him, like, okay, cool, that's your plan, you face it by yourself. It's not what we do. But he needs to learn that ideal game plan that he had in mind is actually maybe not that ideal.
Not ideal.
So he needs to be able to be open-minded enough to say, okay, it didn't work out today.
So what do you think I should
Going back to the drawing board. And then that's how I had it with, if he comes to me with plan A, I can then sort of manipulate his plan B into working around the team's goal. So then when his plan A doesn't work, I can go to the team's plan B and say, okay, this is what you do. And for me, I also had it, I don't just jump a game plan on him match day. I had the boy in the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe.
Well, hopefully.
If he's
Sometimes
there,
the team only comes out on a Friday.
if he's there or if I'm there, work with him. Say, okay, cool. For the first half of training, work on plan A. Second half of training, we work on plan B. And at least then he gets an idea as to what it's like bowling to a real to an actual batsman, you know. And then stepping out into a game, he's sort of already comfortable or at ease with what it is. And then it's not as daunting.
It's always important that when one is practicing, practice like you're playing a match. Because a lot of times players will rock up at practice and, it's all fun and games. And you expect to perform when it comes to matches.
It's never going to happen.
So if you say, I want to bowl 20 Yorkers, you better be able to bowl 20 Yorkers in a row in a night.
Or at least give us 15.
If it means you're going to drive through the covers the whole time through, then for the 30 minutes that you're in the net, you are doing just that.
Yes.
But you get a player that's going to be hacking it in the net. And on the middle, you're like, okay, I want to look to play, right? Yeah, I'm going to drop it down for the singles and whatnot. But you were not doing that in the week. So how do you expect to then perform?
Materialize
or
on
to
the
come
Sunday.
to the captain and say, this is my plan.
Exactly.
When I, as a captain, I did not see that during the week at practice. So yeah. Hero, do you have anything else before?
No, I think we close. I think it's been a great chat. I think it's been fantastic. I know we've talked about cricket more than anything, but I think there are life lessons within the game. I think the one thing I love about sports is that there are life lessons.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we're doing in the middle, there are life lessons. There's camaraderie, there's bravery, there's sticking to your plan, there's committing, there's all sorts of things. There's understanding what you're doing and said, just because you've hit 10,000 volts doesn't mean you're going to play for the Proteas. Just because you did the report well at work doesn't mean you're going to get a promotion. So they're all interacting, they're all filing, but it's been a great chat. We appreciate you adding some color and some diversity to our to our set. Yeah. So we'll be opening applications for other white people, and then we'll go down the color line as we go along.
Exactly. Before we go into the game, any last words? Or a wise man once said, complete that statement.
Sure. Just keep going, I guess. Just keep backing yourself. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Is I think also touching on also maintaining a balance about things is during the week, if you've gone and you've worked hard, why do you need to sit on a Friday night, Saturday night, still thinking about your game? You're going to burn yourself out mentally. And by the time game day rocks up, you're more useless than a hungover Oak.
Just to add that, it bugs me when Oaks hit balls before they go bad. Like, what were you doing during the week?
What are you doing today?
It bugs the crap out of me. Like, listen, it's too late now. What are you doing now? It's too late.
You're about to
Listen,
start.
after Friday, stop it.
Yeah.
Go play cricket.
Yeah.
Because now you're middling the thing there, while the underarm there. Then you miss a straight one. Then we all look at you like, oh, chief, but you were middling this thing on the sideline here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that thing frustrates. But, yeah, I hear you. I absolutely hear you.
But I love the fact that you're saying keep going.
Yeah.
There's so much importance to just keep going. Even if it's not cricket, in life
Yeah.
in general, just keep
Just,
going.
yeah, just
The
keep
fact that
backing
you're still
yourself.
here, back yourself and believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's jump on to the game. Again, disclaimer, I did not come up with this. The last one is would you rather? So it's either you would rather yes or
Ooh, I'm
no.
glad I'm on the side of the fence.
Next time we're gonna have tequila, but we're not gonna answer it.
Okay. Well, we can do that now. I can just.
Okay, perfect. Would you rather
The true
get
Rambek
tired
member.
or never have to go to the bathroom ever again? Jeez, why do they have to say bathroom? Would you rather never get tired or never have to go take a lick?
I'll never get tired.
Well, you like your lick, huh?
Yeah. I'm a man. I need to do that, you know?
Would you rather be smart but a total jerk or really sweet but really dumb?
I'd go with smart and being a jerk.
Also, we're like, just know the jerk, but he's smart.
Yeah.
Better come to me with a question. I can answer your question.
But he's
With sarcasm.
nonsense,
Yeah.
Such a D. Would you rather never be rejected or never... Would you rather never be rejected ever again or never fail ever again? Think carefully, bud.
It's a double-edged sword, that.
Think carefully, bud.
It's the sword from Game of Thrones, that.
I'll just take a sip.
2 fingers, bud. 2 fingers.
Yeah, you know the rules. You know the rules.
Would you rather be the center of attention or go unnoticed?
Go unnoticed.
You're that quiet guy. Just go about your business and just start listening. The last one, would you rather start every conversation with, hey, idiot, or end with, oh, just kidding?
If it's somebody that's close to me, they'll understand my humor, so then I'll go with, hey,
Hey,
idiot.
idiot. No, but then you're walking into a room that you don't know about.
Yeah, then I'll just...
Yo, idiots! How you guys doing?
No.
Oh, you guys are amazing.
Just joking.
You're running a such a
JK.
good enterprise. Just joking.
That's why our insurance is expensive.
Anyway, Nosy, it's been amazing.
It has. It's been an absolute
amazing.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What has been your overview of the whole interview?
I think it's a lot more chilled than
Than
what
you
you might
expected.
think. Beforehand, when I'm watching all these, the whole setup coming about and watching all these lights and everything, and I was like, yo, this feels like a real deal. But it's really been a pleasure. It's just super chilled, having a discussion about things, and yeah.
Yeah. Any last words, Aaron?
No, we will see you guys soon.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah,
Thanks
this is
for-
episode 3 in a wrap, and we'll be back with 4.
Yeah, definitely. Cheers for now. And if you're still here, please consider subscribing, doing all the nitty-gritties, share with your mates, because at the end of the day, it's not about just the sport that we play, but also the mental part of it. So in everything that you're doing, like Noel just said, just keep believing. If you're thinking of giving up, don't. Giving up on life, giving up on sport, giving up on your marriage, giving up on anything, just keep going. From us to you, we like you guys. Did I say we like you or we love you? We love you. In the
And one last thing.
Yeah.
Smash the like button.
Oh yes, smash the like button. Thank you. Cheers everyone, and you're done. Cheers. Let's drink.